friends, it's Kathy Clement with Kathy by Design, and I'm glad you could join me here today. I have a really fun project to share with you today. This is a great idea to use for Mother's Day or a wedding shower. This would make a great bridesmaid's gift, a great birthday gift. Everyone I know always needs note cards. So I created this sweet little shaker box to house note cards, and we'll take a look at that in a minute. I just want to start by showing you what I used to make this project. Again, this is for Graphic 45. So I started with one of their 5x5 Ivory mixed media boxes, and I love this because of the cutout opening. It makes it perfect for a shaker box. And I'll talk to you about how I did that. And then I've made the note cards. Here's the papers that I used. I used the place and time. I used the April papers, and I pretty much used them all up. I love this collection. You can just use it for everything. And then the April papers have this wonderful sort of peachy pink color that's actually a great color match for the 12x12 patterns and solids in Cafe Parisian. And the reason I used this was because it allowed me to use the images and the prints on the front side of place and time, but I could still I used these three. They're just a great color match for the April pages from the Cafe Parisian 12x12 prints and patterns. This cute little dot, then this all over print, and then I fussy cut sentiment for my card from this great page. So move that aside. Then I die cut some doilies from a cream cardstock. This is a Cherry Lynn doily die, and I used some Petaloo textured elements. This is the Canvas Sunflower minis, and they just went really well with the little cards that I made on the inside. And then finally I used some little crystal gumdrops for accents. And I'm going to show you how I made the cards. Now we'll take a look at the project. So as I said, this is a 5x5 box, and what I did, I started by putting this image from the April pages of Place and Time on the inside of the box here. Then I took this die cut frame, which is from Southern Ridge Trading Company, and I heat embossed it with a Stampendous Golden Sands embossing powder, and cut this striped paper from Cafe Parisian with a square die from Spellbinders. And then what I did was I filled my cavity with these little sequins and seed beads. You can't do anything too thick because you don't have a huge amount of space between, but I filled that cavity. Then I cut waste chipboard on the back of the frame, and then glued down the clear acetate piece, and then that made the shaker element. Then it was very simple. This is a really quick project. It looks really elegant, but it comes together really fast. I just glued down my frame, added my flowers. These are Petaloo Botanica blooms. I love the Botanica blooms. They're my favorite. And then this is a rose silky crushed ribbon from Really Reasonable Ribbon. I tapped I kind of custom made my own paint color with a combination of Rusty Hinge and Worn Lipstick distress paints, and then just tapped those onto these metal pieces to give them that shabby chic look. Here's a door pull, also Graphic 45 metal staples, and then on the spine I decorated with a little sticker from the collection, an ornate keyhole that also you can see I tapped with the paint, and then I just suspended some keys, some Staples keys, and a sweet little bird's nest. And then the back of the box is covered with the same striped paper. So the box opens, and inside we're going to make the fourth note card. These are just really simple. They come together really fast. Each one is the same, so you can do them assembly line style. But I just think they're sweet, and they'd make a lovely gift. And of course they're blank on the inside. And then over here I just did a little pocket. I used the postcard from the April pages to make the pocket. Used a border piece up here to just kind of decorate and cover the top. This is the back side of the image that's on the front. I tucked a little chocolate in the pocket. Everybody likes chocolate. And then this is really fun. I took chipboard and tags from the April collection, and I just kind of strung them together in a little booklet to tuck in the pocket, because everybody likes something in their pocket. So that's the basic design, and I'll put the box aside and we'll get to work. Get to work making the cards. So to make these cards, this is very simple. Let me bring in my supplies. I've pre-done everything just so it will go quickly. Inside the mixed media box, you have these great Ivory, they're almost like coasters. They're a real heavyweight cardstock. And I like these because of the weight. And let me grab a tool that I'm going to need here in a second. Then I created a card base that is slightly larger. These measure 4.5 by 4.5. So I went 4 5/8 by 4 5/8 to make the rectangular card base out of a cream cardstock. But we're just going to build our card working on this base for now. So you're going to cut a 4.5 by 4.5 piece of the striped paper from Café Parisian. Then you're going to cut, let me remeasure this, I'm so bad with numbers. You're going to cut a, 2 3/4 by, hold on. Yeah, 2 3/4 by 4.5 piece of the dot paper from Café Parisian Patterns and Solids. And then you're going to cut a, this is a new ruler, 4 1/4 by 2-inch panel of this pretty print from Café Parisian. And then you've got your, of course, your die cut doily. So I didn't ink any of the edges because I wanted this to stay looking really fresh. And I like to work with liquid glue. So I put my glue around the edges of this base. And then you're just going to center this. And it's going to line up pretty perfectly on the sides. You're going to have a little overhang on the corner, but I'll show you how we deal with that in a little bit. So there's that. Then I love working with paper that has lines on it because it's easy to keep everything straight. So add some glue to the dot paper. And then I came over to the third stripe and just line up. Press that down. Then you're just going to add glue to the back of the patterned paper. And again, we're just going to line up with this stripe, make sure we're equidistant, top and bottom. And then doilies like this, if you have one of those sticker machines, lucky you, I don't. So just, I put a little glue in the center and then I just put a quick dot of glue on each of the outside edges just to hold it in place. I know, boring to watch people gluing. Okay, and this is a little border strip from the April Cut Apart pages. I love these little flower pots, and they are going to go right on the bottom. And again, line everything up nice and flush, both sides along the bottom. There's our border. And now that we've done all of this, we're going to take a corner chomper. This is a crocodile corner chomper. It has a 1/2 inch setting and a 1/4 inch setting. I'm going to use the 1/4 inch setting, and I'm going to just chomp the corners. Quick and easy. You can use any corner chomper tool that you have. I just have the crocodile. Now we're going to come back, take this doily, and we're going to line it up right in the center. Oops, press it down. I usually have a paper towel with me to do this. I'll just tap it carefully. Okay. All right, now the next thing we're going to do, this is the image. This is from the April cut apart page in Place and Time. And I want to give this a little height. So this is just waste cardstock. This is a shipping box that I got design team supplies in. And I'm just going to add that to the back. This saves me a ton of money and it works beautifully. Then add some glue to the back of this and line it up. Make sure you're centered, and we are, so that's great. And then I cut this little sentiment from that 12 by 12 Cafe Parisian prints patterns and solids, and it says, do anything but let it produce joy. And I am, just to cover the fussy cutting, I'm just going to tap this really quickly with pumice stone around the edges, and just to cover up most of that white edge, but I don't actually want to get ink onto the image. And then this is going to sit right here. So this is elevated, this is not. And the way I do this to make it even is I only put my chipboard on the one side, like that, then glue here and there, then line this up. Easy peasy, just like that. And now it's time to add the ribbon. And this is a light coral satin with a grosgrain edge. I got this from Really Reasonable Ribbon. It's a great color match. And I'm just going to put a dot of glue. And I tie all my bows with my Zutter Bow It All. I couldn't tie a bow to save my soul until I got that tool. And it just makes my work so easy tying bows. And while I'm holding that in place, I'm just kind of fluffing my bow, making it go the direction I want it to go, all those sorts of things. But I hold it because, you know, the glue has to cool before it keeps that in place. So that's where I want that. And then this is just hemp, just a regular hemp. And I also tied a double bow with this. So I'm going to put a dot of glue right in the center of my bow, and of course my glue gun is acting up, and hold that in place while I do the same thing. Fluff the bow, get them all going the way you want them to go. Sometimes this stuff will twist when you tie it, so this is the time when you want to untwist it and make it do what you want it to do. But again, I'm holding it firmly in place with my right hand while I adjust it with my left. So there's that. And now one of these really sweet canvas sunflowers from Petaloo. We're going to add a little glue right to the back of this and glue this on top of the bow cluster, just like so. Make sure everything is lined up the way we want it. Sometimes you have to adjust again, just because this hemp likes to go its own way. Sometimes you have to show it who's boss. All right, I'm just going to hold that in place for a second. Look how cute. And the finishing touch, I mean, we're done. That's it. Finishing touch, I'm just going to add these gumdrops, a large one in the middle, this one on top, this one here. And now we take this whole thing, add glue to the back, bring in your card base that you made before you started, and again this measures just slightly over 4.5 inches square. It's probably about 4 5/8 inches square because I wanted just a tiny peak of that ivory paper around the sides. Just press that to set it. Bring back your corner chumper. Trim all 4 corners. And voila! There's card number 4. And it just doesn't get any easier than this. This is a very simple, and you could use the same basic recipe for really any card. And what I do with my box, this is the 4th one. Now we've got a complete set. This just sets inside. I'm going to turn it this way. so that the lid will close. Tuck everybody in, close the lid, and there you have it, my April Place and Time gift ensemble. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. If you did, I would love to hear from you in the comment section below. Break out your graphic 45 papers and have fun. Go get your craft on. Bye.